I'm going to call the Planned Industrial Expansion Authority of the City of St. Louis to order. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. And may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner McBride,
Present.
and Chair Spencer.
Present.
You have a quorum with everyone present.
Thank you. I hope everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes from November 19th, 2024. May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, McBride.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Jones? He looks like he's frozen. Commissioner McBride?
Hmm.
And Chair Spencer.
Aye.
So we have a motion with 3 voting yes.
And Kennard's still trying to get back online.
Okay, we'll wait.
Down his vote, but we can also wait.
Okay.
We do have a quorum.
Right, Lori, Olivia says we have a majority without his vote, so
Okay.
will we put him as an abstention or a no? We have to do a no.
You're as a present,
That's a present.
not a Christmas present, just he's present, he voted present.
Okay, we will vote him president, vote him, yeah, so motion passes.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to resolution number 24, PIEA 500. I think Olivia is going to present this one for us.
I think Rob will help me with this one as well. This is a resolution authorizing the transfer of collateral on a $500,000 loan through the PIEA made to North Riverfront Investors LLC. This is to enable the developer to carry out its goals. So PIEA originally loaned $2 million to Green Park Broadway investors, which then subsequently assigned its rights to North Riverfront Investors, the current developer, in 2008. The loan agreement, the note of deed of trust provide for the complete forgiveness of the loan in the event certain site control, construction, renovation, and job creation requirements are met. Over time, the balance of the loan has been reduced to $500,000 by compliance with the terms. And presently, the terms require that the developer meet certain milestones, including over 160,000 square feet of new development and the creation of 229 new jobs. Previously, this loan was secured with collateral in the form of real property. It has previously also been altered twice to accommodate projects that the developer and the affiliates were undertaking. At this time, the developer is anticipating selling the real estate parcel that is currently being used as collateral to secure this loan. And the developer has proposed substituting another real estate parcel as collateral. The proposed collateral is located at 5800 North Broadway, and it's depicted on Exhibit A to the resolution. And this request would substantially maintain PIEA's interest in the forgivable loan.
Thank you for that background. Yeah. And I appreciate the the way that the resolution was written and highlighting the jobs created and the number of square feet of new development that's happened over all these years. A couple things for clarity for the rest of the commissioners. The intent of this loan was to create economic development, and there's about 75% of that has already happened. And from the outset, this particular loan, based on meeting certain criteria, was considered or being considered as a forgivable loan. And the last part is, do you have an appraised value on the property that we're swapping out with this collateral, just to give the board an idea of the value and what our percentage would be with that collateral?
I can answer that, Olivia.
Okay.
Yes, the site, the 5800 site that the new collateral will be placed on is valued at 5 million as is, or 6.7 million as cleared and improved for development, which is currently in the early stages of happening. I will state, just going back to provide a little more context, these funds that were loaned for development in the North Riverfront area were provided to SLDC through the Greater St. Louis Regional Empowerment Zone, which was a program, I believe, that began in around 2005-06. These funds came to SLDC and PIA rather in 2007. The purpose of the grant to the PIA was to spur development in the North Riverfront area. At the time, you all may remember that when the new Mississippi River Bridge was being contemplated, a project that took many, many years and ultimately became the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. There were a number of businesses that were within the footprint of that bridge that were going to be relocated because of the construction of the bridge. And so the PIA, through SLDC's staff, of course, sought and received this money through the empowerment zone in order to help facilitate the relocation and the retention of those jobs in the city. So there were a number of businesses that were going to be dislocated. We had an area up in the what is now the Love's Travel Center, Central States Thermo King, and some others that have since located up in this area. And so it's been a successful program and has created the milestones that are listed. There are a couple of other milestones to be met, but the empowerment zone no longer exists. We actually received a letter probably around 2013-14 stating that program no longer had any recourse for this funds that were provided to SLDC. SLDC at that time was given free and clear authorization to use the funds as it sees fit. And what we intended to do is what we did do, and that's to help create significant investment in the North Riverfront, bring a number of jobs. Some of the successful projects that have been benefited from really site work that was necessary to clear all of this area for new development. You may be familiar with Gedeke and Rabin Tire, which is on East Taylor in North St. Louis. The Love's Travel Center, of course, was a major project that took us many years to acquire. And then States Thermo King, located on Cary Avenue, right west of the railroad tracks. And so this transfer of the collateral to the 5800 North Broadway site, which is probably more valuable than the site that the collateral is parked on today in terms of its location, proximity to the highway, although it does need to be remediated. So this has been a very successful program. It's taken us quite a while. We had obviously the real estate crash of 2008 that came into play. And then more recently we had COVID, but we've had a couple of businesses that have looked at this area for many years, just weren't able to work out their deal. And now we think we've got a project that's going to move forward and be very successful on the West Third site. So that's just want to provide you a little more background.
Appreciate that. We have any additional questions for Rob or Olivia? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve 20 resolution number 24 PIEA 500?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Jones, you're muted.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride
Aye.
and Chair Spencer.
Aye.
Motion passes, voting yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Next up is Charlie with our finance report. It's a lot less complicated than the LCRA, so this should move quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The report should be in your packet. And the right-hand side is the balance sheet. The left-hand side is the revenues and expense. As of June 30th, 24, the cash balance was $821,000. And the note receivable, this note you heard about today, valued at $1 million. And we took $1 million allowance because we expect that to be a non-productive note receivable as far as incoming cash to PIEA. We had prepaid expense of $7,000. We have no liabilities. The fund balance is $829,195. In column 2 of the statement of revenue and expense, it shows that we had interest income of $42,000 and we had gain on the sale of property of $19,000. And I'll just comment on that $19,000. It was the properties on Harris that you approved during this fiscal year that Chairman Spencer thought we should go and relook at and reappraise. And after doing that, we netted about 19,000 more than what we had thought we were going to get. So that's where that gain is posted. Total revenue 61,000, expense of 9,000, net income of 51,906. We down below transferred 50,000 to SLDC during this year. So our beginning fund balance of 927 ended at 829, and that's the figure you see on the right-hand side under fund balance. So that is the financial picture of PIEA, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Charlie? No questions. I'm going to ask one. As we go into the new year, are there any additional properties that we feel like need to be marketed for sale, or any properties we feel like need to be looked at as an acquisition to assemble for anything else that may be in the works and on the riverfront?
Well, I'm not aware of any real marketable properties that PIE has. We do have the ability to issue bonds and support projects, and I think there's one in the works. Rob, you might want to comment.
So, as you know, LCRA does have funds that have been appropriated from the city's ARPA allocation. We have approximately $13.5 million originally. We used it to buy the 4,700 Goodfellow property and 4,690 Goodfellow property that Peter Phillips discussed earlier in the LCRA meeting regarding environmental consulting and remediation work that we plan to do. We have identified a number of targets. We are, obviously, we prefer not to discuss specific real estate targets in a public meeting because of the risk of speculators interfering in that real estate transaction.
Sure.
We definitely have a number of sites that we've identified, and, you know, it takes a little while to do the due diligence and figure out what funds are gonna be necessary to stabilize buildings or to do other pre-development work, which could include demolition, environmental remediation, things of that nature. I will say that we have a landfill up on North Hall Street that we would love to sell. If anyone is interested in, it's actually a closed landfill, so its uses are limited, but we'd be happy to move that one if we could find any takers for it. But other than that, I think PIEA only owns 2 properties. I was in a conversation with our IT expert today earlier, trying to figure out why LCRA and PIEA properties are not listed as being available along with LRA properties. So that's something we're looking into. But he informed me that PIEA does only have 2 properties remaining. I believe one other is in this area, but I'm not sure. I do know one of them is the landfill. So we're going to run a special on that starting in January and see if we can move that.
Thanks for that public notice. Thanks, Rob.
And LCRA, just FYI, owns 177 properties. About 30 of those were acquired with the Killark facility. One of the things that we want to take a look at in the coming weeks is adjacency to properties that we do own. And to your point, we definitely want to take a look at, are there properties that we should be marketing? You know, a lot of times, you know, we acquire properties for a purpose. Sometimes that purpose doesn't pan out. I have found recently that LCRA actually owns parcels that are completely included in a public street that have absolutely no value, cannot be developed, cannot be sold. It's just for whatever reason they were acquired as part of a development that didn't work out, or, you know, maybe that was a carve out from the rest of the development and LCRA wound up with that. So we would like to take a look at cleaning those up. You know, it's also, you know, a goal to reduce the liability risk that someone would get injured on property that LCRA owns. So if it's not productive for LCRA or doesn't have, you know, future development likelihood, then we'd certainly like to move it back into the city's ownership, especially for those things that are streets, sidewalks, things of that nature.
Thank you, Rob. I knew the Harris properties were the main ones, and we got those off the books last year, and I thought there were a couple more, and I think there might be some slivers too. But that point is really, it's a good one, because LRA has those types of properties, PIEA has those properties, LCRA has those properties. And so there's probably maybe a citywide sort of solution for those smaller slivers someplace. But thank you, Charlie, for your report and for all your work. Rob, thanks for all your institutional knowledge and your background. We really appreciate it. If there aren't any additional questions on the financial report, we can move to the open agenda. And I don't think there's anything there, but somebody please tell me.
No, sir, there isn't.
Wonderful. Our next regular board meeting is scheduled for January 28th, 2025. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a
holidays.
good night.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year, everybody. See you
Elected
next
side
year.
next year, Matt.
Happy Hanukkah.
Take care, guys.